My name is Bukky Shonibare and I'm the Executive Director of Invictus Africa. At Invictus Africa, we have a data strategy, a DATA strategy. We develop data, we amplify that data, but in our development of data, we make sure that the data is focused on issues affecting women, girls, persons with disabilities, provided they fall within the bracket of those who are marginalized and vulnerable in the society. One thing that makes the Gender and Inclusion Summit very fantastic, it brings policymakers, government, innovators, decision makers together. And so this year's Gender and Inclusion Summit, just that first bit of it, from agenda to action, we see a lot of times we have policies, we have documents, we have commitment. The question is, are they translating to action? So this year's Gender and Inclusion Summit is saying that we need to come together to have a conversation around how we can make sure that agendas don't end up as just documents and commitments and fine talks on social media, that they actually translate into action. The second limb of that thing that now says making innovation count for the last mile is simply saying that those innovations that have been embedded in these actions or in these agendas, how do we make sure that they don't just translate to action, but that it is reaching the people at the last mile? And permit me to speak a bit about the last mile, especially in relation to our work here at Invictus Africa. It is that woman who is selling akara in a local community. It is that pepper seller who is, selling pepper in order for her to send her children to school. It is the fish seller. It is the conductor. It is different people at different levels. But the thing also is that last mile is not just geographical. How about people who are often excluded because of their financial capability? How about people who are excluded because they don't have access to smartphones? How about people who are excluded because they don't have access to bank accounts? How do we make sure that innovations, such as health innovations, for example, AI innovations, are getting to those people even though they are not educated?
For everyone who comes for Gender and Inclusion Summit, it means that you are interested in gender and you are interested in inclusion. And one way for you to show that you are indeed interested is to go and read the bills and the laws that impact on gender and inclusion.
It's honestly exciting for us that we are not just attending this year's Gender and Inclusion Summit, but that we are also a partner. And so as a partner, we are bringing to the table our women's health data, but particularly our data on childbirth spacing. We've worked to collect this data, but particularly budget data. Governments make commitment. This commitment translates into budget allocations, but are these allocations being released, that those women and girls at the last mile actually have access to it. So we are coming to this data so that we can use evidence to have that conversation on how we can move the agenda on family planning to actual actions on family planning. My name is Bukky Shonibare. This is the Gender and Inclusion Summit 2026. And I am inviting you, policymakers, government, civil society, innovators, technologists. Let's have a conversation about how we can move agenda to action, but particularly innovation so that they can reach those at the last mile. See you there.